everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. So I have a pretty big book haul to show you today. I cannot be trusted when left to my own devices in a used bookstore. It's just an accident waiting to happen. I accidentally bought an insane amount of books. In fact, let me count. I bought 19 books. So I got 19 books and I paid just a little over $100. That is absolutely unheard of. If you were from South Jersey, the store that I went to is called Barney Loves Books. It's in Woodstown. It is, first of all, it's adorable. The man who owns it, if you shop like I do, he will absolutely give you a discount. He was so nice. It was so incredible. I love that bookstore. I've been multiple times and I always find the best books there. So with that being said, let's get started. Let me show you all 19 of these books that I found. So I think some of the books that I'm most excited about are these two that I'm going to show you. I found two hardcover Ellen Hildebrands there and they were super cheap. So I got 28 Summers, which is one I've heard a little bit about. It says their secret love affair has lasted for years, but this will be the summer that changes everything. So that sounds really good. Then I also got Summer of '69, also by Ellen Hilderbrand. And this one says, a pleasing beachy read in which four siblings experienced the drama, intrigue, and upheaval of a summer when everything changed. So both of these sound good. I love Ellen Hilderbrand's books. I can't recommend her enough for like a summery read, but they also do have some emotional depth to them. I just really enjoy her writing. So that's the first two books that I picked up in this haul. The next two books are almost just as exciting, and that is the second book and the third book in this series by James Islington. I should probably look that up. I don't know how to say it. And the series is called the Licanius trilogy. I actually own the first one. The first one is called The Shadow of What Was Lost. I already own it, and I walked into that store and I saw these two books sitting on the shelves and I was like, oh my gosh, it's fate. It's meant to be because I already own the first one. I don't need the first one, but I found the second two, and I am super excited to read The Will of the Many. I've never read it yet. That is another series by James Islington, and so because people love that series, I figured I might as well get a jump start on this series too. So I'm super excited now that I have the complete trilogy. Next, I found a book that I have already read, and that is The Shining by Stephen King. I love these new editions of these books. I literally almost bought this book when I was in Target the other day, but I didn't buy it, and I'm happy that I held out because I got it for discount at Barney Loves Books. And these copies, I don't know, they look so vintage, but they're still like fresh and new and shiny. I don't know, I think that they're really stunning. The artwork is stunning. I really enjoyed this book when I read it, so I'm happy to have it to put as a trophy on my shelf. The next books, I have three that are, I think, like literary fiction. They're like older books that have been on my radar for a while that I'm excited to read. The first one is The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd, and my sister read The Book of Longings by Sue Monk Kidd, and she has not stopped telling me that I need to read it. I need to read that one, but this one I think might be even more popular. I feel like they might have made a movie about this one. So I am excited to own this and to read it, and also to read The Book of Longings, which I will eventually get to. My TBR is never ending, and it keeps on going because I keep going to bookstores and buying more and more books. Then I have Cutting for Stone by Abraham Verghese. Again, I should definitely look up how to pronounce these names before I show them. If I talk about it later, I will definitely. My book club in person that a bunch of teachers at my school run, we briefly discussed reading this book. I don't know if anybody else read it. I've had it on my wish list and I just have been on the lookout for it and I haven't found it yet, but when I saw it at the store, I knew I had to buy it. I don't know anything about this book, but I've heard that it's incredible. All of the ladies in the book club, they said that they loved it. It says, it's richly written, shows how history and landscape and accidents of birth and death conspire to create the story of a single life. You may never leave your chair. I don't know, that sounds pretty good. So I'm excited to own this. Like I said, we might meet to discuss this book, but I'm not 100% certain, but I am excited that I have it. And the last one of that group that I was talking about is Atonement by Ian McEwan. And I know that this is a movie. I don't know anything else about this book except for the fact that it's a movie. It says that it was the best book of the year by a lot of different publications, and it was a Booker Prize finalist. So it must be good. Tell me if this is something that you've read. Do you think I'll like it? I don't know. I bought it anyway. The next set of books are part of a series, and that is the Three Dark Crowns series by Kendare Blake. So I got Three Dark Crowns and Two Dark Reigns, which I believe is the first and second in the series. I know that there is another one called One Dark Throne. I think that it starts 3, then goes 2, then goes 1, but it might go the other way. So I need to look that up to see if I need to buy the other one before I get started on these two, but I saw them next to each other and I've heard stuff about this series, so I thought that I would pick it up. Then I have a couple more like YA fantasy books. So I have Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. I love Adrienne Young. Her Fable series is one of my favorites, plus all of her adult books. I adored them. I loved them so much. So this has been on my wish list for a while. So when I saw it, I knew that I had to scoop it up simply because I love Adrienne Young. Then I also saw Queen of the Tearling by Erika Johansen, which I have also heard about. I don't know what this one is about either. It says, a young woman, a kingdom, an evil enemy, a birthright foretold. The tear is just as easy to get sucked into as Westeros or Hogwarts or Panem. That makes me excited. I love all of those things. So this is another YA fantasy book that I'm excited to own and to read eventually. Then we have Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. I read Kerri Maniscalco's Kingdom of the Wicked series and I loved that. I know that this is like a historical fiction book about Jack the Ripper. I was the girl who loved the Ripper. I don't know. I liked that series, so I'm sure I will like this one. This girl that I follow on Book Talk, she loves this series. She just doesn't stop talking about it, so I'm excited. I saw the first one and I knew I had to pick it up. And then the last in the group of YA fantasies that I found is one that I've already read before, and that is Daughter of the Pirate King. I loved this one by Tricia Levenseller. I just love books about pirates. It's like something about a book about a pirate just really draws me in. I really loved this one. I actually definitely want to do a reread of this one because I know that there is a new book coming out in this series, or maybe it's already out. I'm not sure. Vengeance of the Pirate Queen is the one that's coming out, or might already be out. I'm not really sure. I need to look into that, but I want to do a reread so that I can read that one and get excited about it. Then I have another book that I have already read, Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey Mcquiston. I loved this book just like everybody else, but I don't own my own copy. I realized that I own all of Casey Mcquiston's other books, but I don't own this one, the OG. So when I saw it at the store, I knew I had to pick it up. So I got it. Then I have Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood, and this one is kind of like really dingy and old, but it seems like more mysterious that way. I don't know. Do I look like a fancy person reading a book when it's old? I don't know. Maybe that's just like this imaginary scenario that I'm creating in my head, but I have this one on my wish list. I almost bought this one at Barnes & Noble the other day, but I didn't, and I'm happy I waited because I found it at the thrift store. I love Margaret Atwood. I love The Handmaid's Tale. That's like one of my favorite books. I also liked The Testaments, and I read Oryx and Crake. I just have loved every Margaret Atwood book I've read, so I'm excited to add this one to the list of books that I'm going to read by Margaret Atwood. And then I found one that's kind of like a little bit in left field, and that is Empire of the Damned. This is the second book in the Empire of the Vampire series, and I don't own the first one in the series, but I saw this one. It's like a hardcover, like expensive book. This book is $32 originally, and I paid like $4 for it, so I got it. Hopefully I will eventually stumble across Empire of the Vampire so that I can have them both. I have heard a lot of stuff about J. Kristoff, and I am intrigued about this series. I love stories about vampires, so I'm going to be on the lookout for the first book in the series to add to my collection now that I own the second one. I don't know why I did that. I never do that, buy the second one before the first one, but it was just kind of like, it felt like fate. Like I had to pick it up. It was staring at me. I couldn't leave it be. Now I have 3 more books, and actually I didn't get these ones at Barney Loves Books. I got these ones at a bookstore in the city, and I can't remember what it's called in Philly. If I remember what it's called, I'll put it in the description box, but I did find these 3 there. So this is also a used bookstore, and I found the first 2 books in the Inheritance games. What's this series called? The Inheritance Cycle, maybe? No. I don't know, the Inheritance games. I found the first two. I've read the first one. I haven't read the second one. So I'm excited to have these to add to my collection. And the final book for this haul is The Chosen and the Beautiful by Nevo. I know that this is a Great Gatsby retelling. I love Great Gatsby. I think that this is from Jordan's point of view. Yeah, Jordan Baker's point of view. So I am excited to read this retelling. And that, my friends, is my huge book haul of used books that I bought right around Independent Bookstore Day. Always, 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 I recommend supporting your local bookstore, your local indie store. I think that that is just an excellent way to show your support for the people in your community. I love it. Better than giving your money to Amazon. Not that I don't also buy books on Amazon, but I prefer to shop at local bookstores when it's at all possible. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will definitely see you for the next one. Bye-bye.